physics technology, I'll be guiding you on how heat transfer works. Alright, so substances that transfer thermal energy very well are called conductors. Substances that do not transfer thermal energy very well are called insulators. So these are examples of conductors and insulators. Common conductors are silver, copper, gold, aluminum, magnesium, tungsten, nickel, mercury, platinum, and iron. Common insulators are plastic, wood, paper, wax, ebonite, and pure water. What is convection? Convection is the flow of currents in a liquid or gas. A current is created when the warmer, less dense material rises, forcing the cooler, more dense material to sink. Describe an example of convection that you have experienced recently at home, at school, or outside your house. So that's the first question. Okay, describe an example of convection that you have experienced recently at home, at school, or outside. Okay, the first question. Alright, if you stuck on the first question, I'll give you an examples of convection currents. Okay, occurs every day. Alright, so the first example is the Great Ocean Conveyor Belt. Alright, so what is Great Ocean Conveyor Belt? Great Ocean Conveyor Belt is actually a constantly moving system of deep ocean circulation driven by the difference of temperature in the sea. So it's actually this conveyor belt. It works as if it was a highway, a mode of transportation for migration of fish from one continent to another, right? Okay, so this belt is actually a highway. Imagine, it's actually mind-blowing, right? So the second example is if you're living outside Malaysia, you experience winter, it's really cold outside and it's really cold inside, so you turn on the heater inside your room, inside your house. So then the heater will warm up the air, so the air, it will become less dense, it rises, it cools down again, it becomes more dense, it sinks, it goes up again, it goes down again. So there's a flow of current inside your room. So that is an example of convection. So the third example of convection is water cycle. So the water cycle, it warms up air, the air rises, it cools and condenses. Also an example of convection is when you boil your water inside the kettle. So the hot water will goes up, the cold water will goes down, it boils up your water in the kettle. So that's an example of convection again. Alright? How hot was it? Dashboard oven hot. What cooked the cookies? If there's no flow of current in a space, so that is not convection. Alright? Imagine if you are in a car and you turned off the aircon in your car, and then the heat will build up gradually inside your car. So it's like you sit in an oven hot, right? So then that is actually called radiation. Okay, so radiation is heat transfer through space by electromagnetic waves. Unlike conduction and convection, radiation can occur in empty space as well as in solids, liquids, and gases. Waves such as visible light, infrared, and ultraviolet light are examples of radiation. So these are an example of radiation. Microwave emits radiation. The sun emits radiation. If you sit in front of an open fire, so that open fire emits radiation. If you heat up food, that is also radiation. Look at the examples of heat transfer. So the first type of heat transfer is conduction. So conduction is the transfer of heat by direct contact. So in this case, you actually touching this hot handle by using your bare hand. So that is an example of conduction. So for convection, it's actually a flow of current in the liquid or gas phase. So in this case, it's actually flow of current in the liquid phase. So radiation is the heat transfer through space by electromagnetic waves. So in this case, is the heat transfer through air to your hand or to your face. Okay, so that's an example of radiation. Okay. Next, look at the examples of heat transfer. So there's convection, there's conduction, and radiation. Look at the three images below. Identify which is an example of conduction. Okay, so the first image on your left hand side is an example of radiation. It's cold outside, so you sit in front of your fireplace, so that fireplace emits radiation, right? So conduction is when you poke a metal rod, poke your fireplace using a metal rod. So that is actually conduction. So for convection is it's really hot outside and it's really hot inside your room, so you turn on the fan. So there's a movement of the current. So that is called convection. Dismiss this. I've discussed it before, so you can dismiss this. So the first question is describe the convection, either inside, outside, right? So that's the first question. So the second question is differentiate this heat transfer. The first image on your left hand side, it says that you have to cut out the images below. Do not bother, do not cut out, alright? What you have to do is, you just have to label them accordingly and send it off to me, alright? So that's the first question on your left hand side, alright? On the right hand side, for each diagram, label and draw arrows showing heat transfer in the form of conduction, convection, and radiation. Full stop, that's it. That is what you have to do. You have to label and draw arrows showing heat transfer in the form of conduction, convection, and radiation. Alright? So answer all three questions and send it off to me via Google Drive or email me for your attendance by midnight. Alright guys, I will see you next week again. Thank you so much. If you have any query, you can email me or direct WhatsApp me. I'll answer your question regarding heat transfer. Alright, that's it. See you next week. Thank you guys. Thank you.